Welcome back, and the modern stock feature lineup on the track right now. The modern stocks being put in here because of the change in the schedule due to the weather and a couple of schedule changes. The modern stocks will be coming first, so this is their 25-lap main event. And here's the way they're going to line up, starting on the pole. Car number 48 is Cliff Halstead. On his outside, starting second will be the 7C of Jack Howard. Starting third, driving car number 0 is Ed Folks. In the fourth starting spot, the 53 is John Ruggiero. Starting fifth, driving car number 88 is Jerry Reeves. In the sixth starting spot will be the 18 of Bob Haverstick. Starting seventh, driving car number 5 is Rich Ely. In the eighth starting spot, the 81 is Vinny Pasuco. Starting ninth, driving car number 12 is Glenn Slocum. In the 10th starting spot will be the 7 of Scott Davidson. Starting 11th will be the 13 of John Gapp. 12th starting spot goes to the 3 of Ron Iyer. Starting 13th, the 82 of Jeff Carpenter. In the 14th starting spot, the 72 is Terry Schaefer. Starting 15th, driving car number 59 is Casey Koljeski. In the 16th starting spot is the 36, Bud Zablocki. Starting 17th, the 20 of Jeff Hofler. In the 18th starting spot will be the 19 of Bob Ormsey. Starting 19th, driving car number 22, Charlie Work. In the 20th starting spot, the 75 is Greg Miranda. Starting 21st, the
go. And this perhaps the last time we can say the six-cylinder modern stocks, as in 1988, V8s will be allowed in the modern stock cars. In fact, at least one car in this field is being powered by a V8 engine. In 1988, 4 V8s for sure in the modern stock position. Car number 12, Glenn Slocum, finishing right up near the top of the point race this year. He had led the points for quite a long time during the racing season. Possible Rookie of the Year candidate in the modern stock division for 1987 here at Wall Stadium. Slocum has indicated he will remain in the modern stocks for 1988.
And he did, in fact, finish third in the point standings with 802 points and 2 feature wins on the season in car number 12. Car number 3, Ron Iyer, was the track champion here for 1987.
And Ron Iyer really came from far back in the point standings the first few weeks of the season. Iyer being involved in quite a few accidents that weren't his fault. Towards the second half of the season, Iyer started to put into good, consistent finishes, and he won the crown in the final night of racing. Green flag's out, Roger.
The green flag waves as they come down the front straightaway. The 7C of Jack Howard takes them down into turn 1 your leader. 53, John Ruggiero coming around in turn 2 with the 48 of Cliff Halstead getting into his rear bumper. And that will move him to the back of the pack as he gets back onto the speedway. 7C Jack Howard still the leader, but the 18 of Bob Haverstick going to the outside, and Haverstick will be out front as they go down the back straightaway. The 18, Bob Haverstick with the lead. The 7 of Scott Davidson moving up into second spot. The 7C Jack Howard now third. Fourth is the 81 of Vinny Pasuco. And the 48 of Cliff Halstead does come around down in turn 4. The 36 of Bud Zablocki comes around to 13. John Capp trapped down there behind the 48 of Halstead, and that does bring out the caution and slow down the action.
To avoid the action, everybody eventually getting by without any harm to the race cars. Your leader, the 18, Bob Haverstick, a former modern stock champion, driving the Foster's Auto Service number 18, which is on your screen right now. Haverstick from Wall Township was once again a factor in the 1987 modern stock point race, finishing right up in the top positions as well. Haverstick was a factor right up until the final event for the modern stocks in their point race from 1987.
And we just look briefly at the crowd here at Wall Stadium. It is growing as the afternoon goes on, and the weather promises to clear up the crowd building, and more spectators coming in as we move later into the afternoon toward the feature events for the modifieds. Actually, we still have the heat races to go because of the rain delay.
And a replay of that accident on the speedway before. Car 53 who was spun out early in the event, John Ruggiero, spinning over in turn 2. He went back on the speedway, continued on his way before this yellow flag came out. And so the Ron Iyer car up in the air off the surface now. He'll be hauled back to the pit area.
Okay, and with this action slowed down, we'll be back in just a couple of moments. Welcome back, and Turkey Derby 14 continues as the modern stock feature relines up after this brief caution period, and the cars lining up will get a start this time around. The front row, the 18 of Bob Haverstick and the 7 of Scott Davidson. They are the leaders. The second row, the 7C Jack Howard, the 81 Vinny Pasuco. In row 3, the 0 of Ed Folks and the 5 Rich Ely, and the rest of the pack lining up behind them. Side-by-side restarts here at Wall Stadium up to the halfway point of any feature event, and the green flag waves. And it's the 18 of Bob Haverstick that grabs the lead as the green flag waves. He takes them down into turn 1. The 7 of Scott Davidson is in second and challenging for the lead as they go down the back straightaway. Haverstick on the inside in the 18, Davidson on the outside in car number 7. And the battle for the lead goes down into turn 1.
And Roger, the 7, Scott Davidson on the move, working the outside of Bob Haverstick. Davidson in the 7 are winningest driver in the modern stock rank. 6 feature wins in 1987, looking for win number 7 right now.
With those feature event wins, he also had a lot of hard luck throughout the season, and that put him in 11th spot in the point standings. But Davidson coming on strong right now, as he, on the outside, has taken over the lead of this event. And the 18 of Bob Haverstick is now in second spot, trouble in turn 1 and 2. And a pile up down there of 4 cars, now several of them coming to a stop down there, trying to avoid getting into that mess. But Bob and the 7C, Jack Howard, the 12, Glenn Slocum, the 81, Vinny Pasuco, also stopped down there was the 53 of John Ruggiero, and the 0 of Ed Folks.
And down the backstretch, the 12 of Glenn Slocum, the door panel ripped away, giving you a good shot of the roll cage and, of course, crash bars in the door area. A lot of sheet metal ripped away from that number 12. He's going away. Vinny Pasuco, car number 81, the Cousins Auto Body supply machine, sitting down there in the first and second turn area. Vinny apparently waiting a push from the push truck, or perhaps a lift from the tow truck. Here's a replay of that pass for the lead. Scott Davidson working the outside of Bob Haverstick down the front straightaway now. He moves out in front, gets that nose ahead, and eventually works his way into the top spot.
As they come through turn 3 and 4 of that time, and down the front straightaway, it will be the 7 going out into the lead. And it's gone around here several times, but there are only 5 laps complete under the green here in this modern stock feature event out of 25, 20 laps to go. 5 complete. We're looking for the green flag as they come out of turn 4 this time. The green does wave, and it's Scott Davidson that will take them down into turn 1, the leader this time. The 18 of Bob Haverstick moves into second, and Greg Miranda with a problem down in turn 1. And again, we have 4 cars involved, the 7C, Jack Howard, the 75, Greg Miranda, the 81 of Vinny Pasuco, and the 36, Bud Zablocki, all involved down there, bringing out the caution again.
And the cars do sit in the first turn area once again. Vinny Pasuco, car 81, unfortunately involved in both accidents. Right now, 2 cars sitting up in turn number 1. Drivers getting out of the car. They are, of course, uninjured, but this might mark the end of the day for a few of our drivers. Car 75, Greg Miranda, involved up there. The Star 7 of Jack Howard, also sitting disabled up in the first turn area.
The count remains at 5 laps complete, 20 laps to go in this 25-lap event.
And right now on your starter stand, Tyrone Owens, our starter here at Wall Stadium, directing.
We did lose a couple of cars that went back to the pit area. The 53, John Ruggiero, and the 81, Vinny Pasuco, now the 75, Greg Miranda, heading back to the pit area. The 0 of Ed Folks coming back out of the pit crew has finished the cleanup, and the cars are lined up. We will restart as they come out of turn 4. Again, 5 laps complete. The caution laps not counting in this event. And the 7 of Scott Davidson with the lead on the inside of the front row. The 18 of Bob Haverstick on the outside. The second row, once again, the 5, Rich Ely, and the 20 of Jeff Hofler. And we are looking for a green flag, and we have it as they come out of turn 4. Again, we have a battle for the lead as they go down into turn 1, but the 7 of Davidson pulls it out on the back straightaway. Scott Davidson with the lead, the 18 of Bob Haverstick in second. Third is the 5, Rich Ely. And Hofler in fourth in the 20 in a battle with the 13 of John Kapp as Kapp looks to the outside, challenging for that 4th position.
And that is a very good battle for 4th spot, the best race on the speedway right now. Side by side, John Kapp seems to have the position now, car number 13. Kapp, a multi-time winner here in 1987. 3 feature wins on the year for John Kapp in the 13. He'll try to track down the leaders.
And he has moved into 4th position. 5th is Hofler in the 26th. Now is the 88 of Jerry Reeves. 7th, the 22, Charlie Work, but he moves her to the outside in a battle for that 6th spot. 8th, the 48 of Cliff Halstead, and 9th, the 36, Bud Zablocki, and 10th is the 0 of Ed Folks.
Meanwhile, your leader is still the chowder pot number 7 of Scott Davidson, looking for the checker flag here in the Garrison Auto Supply 25 for the modern stocks. Davidson looking very strong, stretching a bit of distance between himself and second place driver Bob Haverstick. Trouble over in turn 2, Roger.
And the caution is out as the 72 of Terry Schaefer brings out the caution by getting around the wrong way in turn 2. So it will be once again a side-by-side restart for the action to begin here, and they do get the crossover signal from Tyrone Owens right now to go side-by-side. And again, for the restart, it'll be the 7 of Scott Davidson on the inside and the 18 of Bob Haverstick on the outside. Rich Ely remains in 3rd spot on the inside of the 2nd row, the 13. And we should have a restart once again as they come out of turn 4.
And Roger, once again, another opportunity for Haverstick in the 18 to try to get a jump on Davidson. As we mentioned earlier, tires can change, cars can change during yellow flag laps. Let's see if Haverstick can get the advantage now.
The green flag waves. It is the 7 of Scott Davidson on the inside that takes the lead out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. The 18, Haverstick, is in 2nd. 3rd now is the 13 of John Kapp as he has gotten by the 5 of Rich Ely, running in 4th. 5th to 22, Charlie Work. The leaders bring them down the front straightaway into turn 1. Continues to be the chowder pot number 7 of Scott Davidson out front.
And once again, Davidson stretching the advantage over Bob Haverstick. Davidson seems to have him covered here today with the chowder pot number 7. As we mentioned earlier, Davidson winning 6 feature races during 1987, and also, as we mentioned, his year can really be summed up by the phrase thrill of victory, agony of defeat. It seems that Davidson was either winning or having trouble on the speedway, and he was happy to get those 6 victories.
And Jeff, we have now passed the halfway point. The 13th lap complete, coming up to complete lap 14 that time by. The 7 of Scott Davidson still hangs on to that lead. And the 18, Bob Haverstick, now about 10, 12 car lengths back. 13 of John Kapp in 3rd. 4th, the 5, Rich Ely. The 22, Charlie Work, still challenging for that 4th spot, running in 5th.
And Roger, for the fans at home, car 22 on the speedway, Charlie Work is the only modern stock, as far as we know, in the field running a V8 engine. And Work was handicapped to start at the rear of the field because of that V8. He has worked his way up to the 4th spot, is challenging for 3rd right now, challenging Rich Ely. So apparently Work has that V8 running strong here in modern action.
And this division has been a 6-cylinder division for years, and that 1 V8 is the new era. The 8-cylinder engines now being allowed in the modern stock division. And again, he is the first to have done it.
And Cliff Halstead and Bud Zablocki spinning out a little bit earlier. They were out of harm's way. Action continued on. And the reason mainly for the change to the V8, 6 cylinders are very good engines. The trouble most drivers are finding is finding the 6-cylinder engine. Straight 6s have kind of gone the way of an antique, if you will. They've been replaced by V6 engines, so the logical move was up to the V8 or V6 engine.
7 of Scott Davidson getting the 5 laps to go signal. We now have 20 complete. There are 5 to go as he goes down the back straightaway, coming up on 4 to go next time by. Scott Davidson in the chowder pot number 7, way out front. Your leader has almost a full straightaway on the 18 of Bob Aberstein. And it is almost a full straightaway lead now as he is flying in car number 7 this afternoon.
And Roger, I imagine that Scott Davidson is planning on the spot where he'll be putting those Garrison Auto Supply trophies right now, as he looks like he's about a shoe-in for this race. Very strong runner here this afternoon. This will be his 7th win if he can complete these next 2 laps without any trouble.
It's 2 laps to go this time by. 2 to go as Scott Davidson is passing some slower traffic down in turn 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway he goes. Everybody stays out of his way and he gets by them safely. And this time coming by, he will get the white flag. One more time around the 1/3 mile high banked asphalt here at Wall Stadium for Turkey Derby 14. And this is coming up to the end of the modern stock main event as the leader and winner is out of turn 4 down the front. The checkered flag waves and Scott Davidson is in for the win in the chowder pot number 7.
So, Roger, as we mentioned, a very successful conclusion to an up-and-down season for Scott Davidson. 7-time winner, including this race. Of course, he did have a lot of trouble during the year also, but he'll be ending it up on a very bright note with a win in this Garrison Auto Supply 25 lapper.
And with that, we'll be back right after this with more Turkey Derby 14 action.